All right, so get ready, because today we're going behind the scenes of an industry we all interact with every day.
Interesting.
Custom notebooks, planners, and journals.
Oh, okay.
But we're not going to be talking about, like, picking out the perfect one for ourselves.
Right.
Today, we're diving deep into the world of B2B procurement.
Yeah.
We're talking about big orders, strategic sourcing.
The whole 9 yards.
Exactly.
Right.
The whole 9 yards.
I mean, it's fascinating, right? How often we use these things every day and never really consider, like, the journey they take to get to us.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
And our guide for this deep dive is Leo Shia.
Okay.
He's the CEO of Lion Paper Products, and his article, Securing Supply Chain Stability, Strategies to Ensure Your Paper Notebook Orders Stay on Track, is packed with insights.
Okay.
It really, like, opened my eyes to this whole world
Yeah.
that I had no idea about. Like,
Yeah.
there's a whole art to making sure those notebooks arrive on time
Right.
and without any quality issues.
Oh, for sure.
You know?
Yeah. It's a real balancing act,
It is.
wouldn't you say?
Absolutely.
Companies want, the best,
Yeah.
top-notch custom stationery, but they've got to be mindful of the costs, too.
Of course. Yeah, the article mentioned that 70% of B2B buyers
Oh, wow.
struggle with finding that sweet spot
Right.
between quality and affordability.
Yeah. Makes sense.
It's not just about, like, snagging the cheapest deal.
Right.
It's about value.
Exactly.
Okay.
Like, if you think about it,
Yeah.
if a company is ordering thousands of notebooks,
Right.
even a small difference in price
Yeah.
per unit, that can add up
Huge impact.
really quickly.
Yeah.
But you also don't want to compromise on quality
No.
and end up with a product that, makes your brand look bad.
Yeah, exactly. It reminds me of that time I bought a planner. It looked amazing in the store,
Yeah.
promised to be super durable,
All right.
but the binding completely fell apart like halfway through the year.
Oh, that's the worst.
Imagine that happening to a business
Uh-huh.
that just ordered thousands of them for their employees.
I mean, talk about a nightmare.
Total nightmare.
Yeah.
So it seems like investing in the right procurement strategy
Yeah.
isn't just about saving money.
No,
It's also about protecting your brand's reputation
for sure.
and making sure your customers are happy.
Absolutely. You want those notebooks to be a source of pride,
Yeah,
not a headache.
exactly.
And to kind of help you achieve that, Shia outlines 8 key strategies.
Okay.
In his article, we can kind of break them down one by one.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, so first up,
Yeah.
he talks about establishing clear procurement criteria.
Oh. Okay, so what does that mean?
It's like making a super detailed wish list
Okay.
for your ideal supplier.
Okay. I like that.
So, like, what are your non-negotiables
Right.
in terms of paper quality, the binding, eco-certifications,
Yeah.
even the customization options that you need?
All right, so you're setting those expectations.
You're setting the expectations right from the start to avoid miscommunication
Right.
and making sure that everyone is on the same page.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, you're essentially laying the groundwork for a successful partnership.
So you've got your wish list, your criteria all laid out. What's the next step?
Well, then it's time to vet your suppliers
Okay.
thoroughly.
Thoroughly vet them.
You don't want to just go with the first company
Yeah.
that pops up on Google, right?
Of course not.
It's like choosing a contractor for a major home renovation.
Yeah.
You want to check their references,
Yeah.
see examples of their work, make sure they're the real deal.
So how do you actually go about vetting a supplier in the world of custom notebooks?
Okay, well, Shia recommends checking for quality certifications.
Okay.
Things like ISO 9001,
Okay.
which is a globally recognized standard
Okay.
for quality management systems,
Okay.
or Disney FAMA,
Well,
which
yeah.
is a more specialized certification
Oh, right.
specifically for suppliers working with Disney. But these certifications basically indicate that the supplier has met certain standards
Okay.
and is committed to quality.
So these certifications are like a stamp of approval.
Yeah, like a stamp of approval saying,
Yeah.
hey, this supplier knows what they're doing.
Got it.
But don't stop there.
Oh, there's more.
There's more. Shia also suggests conducting factory audits.
Factory audits. Why?
Either in person or through a third party.
Okay.
This lets you actually see firsthand how the supplier operates,
Wow.
assess their working condition,
Oh.
and get a better sense of their commitment to,
Okay.
ethical and sustainable practices.
Factory audits. That's getting pretty in-depth.
Yeah.
But I guess it makes sense if you're really serious about quality control.
Yeah, if you're serious about it.
And I imagine you'd also want to see some samples of their work.
Absolutely.
Right.
Sample testing is crucial.
Okay.
And in fact, Shia tells a story about how he received, what seemed like a perfect sample batch of custom planners.
Oh.
But then when he placed a larger order,
Yeah.
the second batch revealed inconsistencies and defects.
So even when the samples look great,
Yeah, even when the samples look great,
there's still a risk.
there's still a risk.
Okay.
That's why he really emphasizes the importance of multiple sample batches.
I see.
You want to be sure that the quality is consistent.
Right.
And that they can actually deliver what they promise
Yeah.
when it comes to larger orders.
Okay, so it sounds like vetting a supplier is a multi-step process.
Yeah, it is.
Are there any tools or resources that can kind of help make this process a little easier?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Shia suggests creating a supplier evaluation form,
Okay.
kind of like a scorecard.
Okay.
You can list out all the important criteria,
Okay.
certifications, audit results, sample quality,
Yeah.
and then assign a rating to each supplier
Okay.
based on, how they performed in these areas.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
It brings like a level of objectivity and structure to the process,
Right.
especially when you're comparing multiple suppliers.
Yeah.
It's like having a cheat sheet
Uh-huh.
to help you make the best decision.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've established clear criteria.
Right.
We've thoroughly vetted our potential suppliers.
Uh-huh.
What's next on Shia's list?
Well, now it's time to embrace the power of technology.
Ooh, here's where things get really interesting. I'm all ears.
So think real-time order tracking,
Okay.
like watching your pizza delivery on a map.
I love that.
You can see exactly where your notebooks are
Yep.
in the production process and when they're expected to arrive.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it takes all the guesswork out of it.
It does, yeah.
And it's not just about tracking.
Okay.
Digital tools can also help with data analysis,
Okay.
providing insights into your spending patterns, supplier performance, even market trends.
Wow.
You can even set up automated alerts to notify you of delays or potential issues.
So it's like having a digital command center
It is.
for your entire procurement process.
Yeah, you're in control.
You're in control. You have visibility.
You have visibility.
And you can make better decisions.
And more informed decisions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm already seeing how this can save time, reduce stress,
Oh, yeah.
maybe even prevent some of those nightmare scenarios that we talked about earlier.
For sure. And the data backs it up.
Oh, does it really?
Yeah. According to Harvard Business Review,
Right.
companies that use these digital tools
Mm-hmm.
see a reduction in delivery delays
Okay.
by up to 20%.
Wow. 20%, that's huge.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've embraced technology. We're
Right.
tracking our orders.
Mm-hmm.
We're analyzing data.
Yeah.
What's the next step in building this bulletproof procurement strategy?
Well, now it's time to talk about something that might not sound as exciting,
Okay.
but it's equally crucial. Contracts.
Contract.
I know,
I
contracts.
have to admit, that doesn't exactly get my pulse racing.
I know they can seem a bit dry,
Yeah.
but trust me, they're your secret weapon in procurement. Think of them as your safety net,
Okay.
clearly outlining,
Yeah.
the expectations and responsibilities of both parties.
So a contract is that formal agreement
Yeah, it is.
that protects both you and the supplier.
Exactly.
Okay.
And Shia really emphasizes the importance of getting very specific in those contracts.
Okay.
It's not enough to just agree on a price and a quantity.
Right.
You need to outline the quality requirements in detail.
Like what kinds of things were we talking
But
about?
like the type of paper, the weight, the binding, everything.
If you're not leaving anything to chance.
You're not leaving anything to chance.
It's all spelled out.
Yeah, in black and white.
Okay.
And don't forget about, delivery timelines,
Yeah.
payment terms, and especially the nitty-gritty details of any customizations you've requested.
Okay.
Shia even shares a story about how he once negotiated with a supplier
Uh-huh.
over the specific type of binding
Okay.
used in his custom notebooks.
Interesting.
It seemed like a minor detail,
Oh.
but it ended up saving him a significant amount of money.
Wow. So those seemingly small details
Yeah, they can make a big difference.
could have a big impact.
Yeah,
It sounds like you really need to be on top of your game
you do.
when
Well,
it comes to negotiating those contracts.
absolutely. It's about being thorough,
Okay.
detail-oriented,
Yeah.
and not afraid to ask questions.
Okay.
Remember, a well-crafted contract
Yeah.
can prevent misunderstandings
Right.
and protect you from potential headaches down the line.
Okay, so we've established clear criteria.
Hmm.
We've vetted our suppliers. We've embraced technology.
Yep.
And we've got our rock-solid contracts in place.
Okay.
What's next on our journey to procurement mastery?
Next up is a strategy that can have a major impact on your budget.
Ooh, I'm listening.
Optimizing order volumes and timing.
Okay, so let's unpack that.
All right.
It sounds like it's all about finding that sweet spot
It is.
between ordering enough to
Uh-huh.
get a good deal,
Right.
but not so much that you end up with a warehouse full of notebooks.
Exactly. It's a delicate balance.
Yeah.
And it all starts with accurate demand forecasting.
Okay.
You need to have a good understanding of how many notebooks you're actually going to need
Right.
and when you'll need them.
So it's about planning ahead
It is, yeah.
and anticipating your need.
Anticipating your needs.
Okay.
But how does timing play into all of this?
Yeah, good question.
Well, many suppliers offer volume discounts.
Okay.
So the more you order,
Yeah.
the lower the price per unit.
Right. So if you can consolidate your orders and buy in bulk, you
Exactly.
could potentially save a lot of money.
You can. It's like buying in bulk at the grocery store.
Right. You get a better deal when you buy the larger package.
Exactly, but there's a catch.
Uh-oh, there's always a catch.
You don't want to overstock
Right.
and end up with a surplus of inventory that you can't sell.
That makes sense.
So that's where accurate forecasting and strategic planning come in.
Okay, so it's about finding that sweet spot. Ordering enough to take advantage of those volume discounts,
Right.
but not so much that you're stuck with all this extra inventory.
Yeah, it is a balancing act.
It is.
And to kind of illustrate this point,
Yeah.
Shia actually includes a helpful chart in his article.
Okay.
It shows the potential cost savings
Okay.
based on different order sizes.
Oh, interesting.
For example, ordering 20,000 units
Okay.
could lead to a 20% cost reduction
Wow.
compared to ordering just 1,000.
20% cost reduction, that's huge.
It is.
It really highlights the power of like strategic ordering.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've talked about volume discounts, and
Right.
timing,
Mm-hmm.
but are there any other factors to consider when it comes to optimizing those order volumes?
Well, there's also the issue of storage.
Oh, of course.
If you order a massive quantity of notebooks,
Yeah,
you gotta have the space to store them properly.
right. And that storage space costs money.
It does, yeah.
So it's not just about the price of the notebooks themselves.
Right.
It's about the overall cost of procurement,
It is.
which includes storage, handling,
Mm-hmm.
and even the potential for, like, waste
Yeah.
if you end up with products that become obsolete or get damaged.
Right. It's about taking a holistic view
Okay.
of the process.
Yeah.
And factoring in all those hidden costs.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground already.
We have.
Clear criteria, vetting suppliers,
Right.
technology, contracts.
Yep.
Now, optimizing order volumes,
Okay.
what's next on Shia's list of strategies?
Next up is a topic that's, close to my heart.
Oh, okay.
And I know you're passionate about it too.
Okay, what is it?
Sustainability.
Yes, this is something I'm really interested in.
Right.
How does sustainability play into B2B procurement,
Right.
especially when we're talking about something like custom notebooks?
Well, it's becoming increasingly important
Okay.
for businesses to consider the environmental impact
Yeah.
of their sourcing decisions.
Okay.
Consumers are becoming more aware of sustainability issues, and they're actively seeking out products
Oh,
that
yeah.
are made with recycled materials,
Right.
sustainably sourced wood pulp, eco-friendly inks.
So it's not just about doing the right thing for the planet.
No.
It's also a smart business move.
Absolutely. Studies show
How about-
that over 60% of consumers are willing to pay a premium
Wow.
for sustainable products.
Okay.
Yeah, and this trend is only growing stronger.
I didn't see that.
So by incorporating sustainability into your procurement strategy,
Yeah.
you're not only reducing your environmental footprint,
Right.
but also appealing to a growing segment of eco-conscious consumers.
It's a win-win.
It is.
So how can businesses actually go about making their notebook procurement more sustainable?
Okay, well, Shia highlights a few key things.
Okay.
First, start by sourcing materials
Okay.
that are recycled or certified sustainable.
Okay, so like what are we talking about here?
So look for paper
Yeah.
that's made from post-consumer waste, or wood pulp that's certified by organizations
Okay.
like the Forest Stewardship Council
Okay.
or FSC,
All right.
which promotes responsible forest management.
So these certifications are kind of like a guarantee
They are, yeah.
that the materials have been sourced ethically and sustainably.
Exactly, and it's not just about the paper.
Oh, wait.
Think about the inks, the binding materials, the packaging.
Right.
Look for suppliers who are committed to using eco-friendly options
Oh.
throughout their entire production process.
So it's about looking at the entire supply chain
It is.
and making conscious choices
Yes.
every step of the way.
Every step of the way.
Okay.
And don't forget about transparency.
All right.
Consumers want to know where their products come from
Yeah.
and how they're made.
Right.
So Be sure to communicate your sustainability efforts clearly.
Be like, how would you do that?
Well, put it on your website, product packaging, marketing materials.
Okay, so it's about being upfront and honest
Yeah, it
with your
is.
customer, letting them know
Yeah,
that you're committed to doing business in a responsible way.
exactly.
Now, are there any examples of companies doing this well?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Shia's own company, Lion Paper Products, is
Okay.
a great example.
Okay.
They've integrated sustainability into their entire operation,
Well,
from sourcing recycled materials and using soy-based inks
uh,
to implementing energy-efficient manufacturing processes
okay.
and minimizing waste.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's inspiring to see a company like walking the walk,
Yeah, walking the walk.
proving that sustainability and profitability can go hand in hand.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we've talked about establishing clear criteria,
Right.
vetting suppliers,
Uh-huh.
leveraging technology,
Yeah.
crafting those solid contracts,
Uh-huh.
optimizing order volumes,
Yeah.
and embracing sustainability.
Okay.
What's the seventh strategy on Shia's list?
The seventh strategy is all about building
Oh,
strong long-term relationships.
okay, building relationships. This sounds crucial.
It is.
I'm curious to hear how this applies in the world of B2B procurement.
Okay, so
It's not just about being friendly, right?
no.
There's a strategic element to
Yes,
this.
there is, yeah.
Yeah.
So remember how Shia talked about how he used to jump from supplier to supplier,
Yeah.
always chasing the lowest price?
Uh-huh.
He quickly learned
Yeah.
that short-term approach wasn't sustainable.
He learned the hard way that building those lasting relationships can actually save you money in the long run.
Absolutely.
Okay.
When you have a strong relationship with the supplier,
Yeah.
you're more likely to get better pricing,
Okay.
more flexible terms,
Mhm.
and even early access to new materials or innovations.
Wow.
Yeah, it's about building that trust and
Okay.
mutual respect
Right.
where both parties feel valued and heard.
It's about viewing your suppliers as partners
Yes,
in your
Yeah.
success, not just vendors you're transacting with.
exactly. And Shia shares a story about how he once had a disagreement
Okay.
with a supplier
Uh-huh.
over a seemingly minor detail.
Yeah.
But because they had that strong relationship
Okay.
built on open communication and mutual respect,
Right.
they were able to have a productive conversation
Okay.
and work together to find a solution
Yeah.
that benefited both of them.
So it's about moving beyond that transactional mindset
Yeah.
and seeing the value in fostering these long-term partnerships.
Exactly. And those strong relationships can pay off
Yeah.
in a number of ways.
Like what?
So, for example, let's say there's a sudden surge in demand
Okay.
for your notebooks.
Yeah.
And you need to ramp up production quickly.
Okay.
A trusted supplier is more likely to go the extra mile
I
to
see.
help you meet those needs.
Or if there's a quality issue,
Right.
you can work together to resolve it quickly and efficiently.
You can.
Minimize any disruption to your business.
Exactly. It's about having that open line of communication and knowing that you can rely on each other
Right.
to navigate challenges and find solutions together.
Okay, so building strong supplier relationships.
Yes.
Definitely adding that to my procurement playbook. Now, we've covered 7 of Shia's 8 strategies.
You have.
What's the final piece of the puzzle?
The final strategy is all about staying ahead of the curve,
Okay.
anticipating changes in the market,
Yeah.
and adapting your procurement strategies accordingly.
So it's about monitoring those market trends.
Yeah, being proactive rather than reactive.
Okay, that makes sense. In any industry, things are constantly changing.
Right.
If you're not paying attention,
Uh-huh.
you can quickly fall behind.
You can.
So how do you stay on top of those trends, especially in the fast-paced world of custom notebooks?
Well, Shia recommends a multi-pronged approach.
Okay.
First, stay informed through industry reports,
Okay.
trade publications,
Uh-huh.
online resources.
Okay.
I mean, there are countless websites, blogs, podcasts dedicated to the world of stationery and office supplies.
Right.
So make it a habit to stay up to date on the latest trends,
Okay.
innovations,
Yeah.
and challenges facing the industry.
So information is key.
It is.
But it's not just about reading articles.
No.
You got to be out there talking to people,
You do.
getting firsthand insights.
Yeah. Attending industry events and trade shows
Okay.
is a great way to network with suppliers, manufacturers,
Yeah.
other professionals in the field.
You see new products.
See new products firsthand.
Yeah.
Learn about emerging technologies.
Uh-huh.
Get a sense of where the industry is headed.
And the great opportunity to build those relationships
It is.
we were just talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
But perhaps the most important source of information
Oh, yeah.
comes from your customers.
It does.
Well,
They're the ones using your products.
they are.
They're the ones who can tell you what they like, what they don't like,
Right.
and what they're looking for.
It makes sense.
Yeah, so Shia encourages businesses to actively seek feedback
Okay.
from their customers,
How do you do that?
conduct surveys, run focus groups,
Uh-huh.
but most importantly, just listen
Yeah.
to what your customers are saying.
Right.
Their feedback can provide invaluable insights into what's working, what's not,
Yeah.
and where you can improve.
It's about being responsive to your customers' needs
is.
and evolving your procurement strategies accordingly.
Exactly. And Shia shares a story
Okay.
about how he once received feedback
Yeah.
from customers that the paper in his custom journals
Okay.
was a bit too thin
Oh.
and wasn't holding up well
Yeah.
to fountain pen ink.
Okay.
So based on that feedback,
Yeah.
he worked with his supplier
Great.
to adjust the paper quality.
Okay.
And it resulted in a significant increase in customer satisfaction.
That's a great example of how listening to your customers and being willing to adapt
Yeah.
can make a huge difference.
Mm.
It's about viewing that feedback as a gift,
It is.
an opportunity to learn and grow.
Yeah. And that mindset of continuous improvement
Right.
is essential for success in any industry,
Yeah.
especially one as dynamic as custom notebooks.
So we've covered all 8 of Jia's strategies for securing supply chain stability
We have.
in the custom notebook industry.
It's a lot.
It is a lot. From establishing clear criteria and vetting suppliers to embracing technology and building those strong relationships.
Yeah,
It's clear that procurement is a complex process
it is.
that requires a strategic approach.
Absolutely. It's not just about finding the cheapest supplier or placing an order.
Right.
It's about understanding your needs,
Yeah.
doing your research,
Right.
planning ahead,
Okay.
and building partnerships that will help you succeed in the long run.
It's about seeing that bigger picture,
It is.
recognizing that procurement is an integral part of your business,
Yeah.
and taking the time to get it right.
And that's something we can all learn from.
I think so.
Whether we're involved in B2B procurement or simply trying to make more informed decisions
Yeah.
as consumers.
As consumers, right?
Yeah.
Now, before we wrap up part 1 of this deep dive,
Okay.
let's take a moment to step back
Right.
and consider the broader implications of these strategies.
Okay.
We've talked about the tactical side of things,
Yeah.
the nuts and bolts of procurement,
The nuts and bolts.
but there's a whole other layer to this conversation.
There is.
In part 2, we'll explore the why behind these strategies, connecting them to larger trends
Right.
like sustainability,
Yeah.
consumer behavior, and the growing importance of ethical sourcing.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Welcome back. We just explored Leo Jia's 8 strategies for navigating the world of B2B procurement,
Yeah.
specifically for custom notebooks.
Uh-huh.
And it's clear there's a lot more to it
There is.
than just picking a supplier and placing an order.
Absolutely.
But what's really fascinating to me
Okay.
is how these strategies connect to bigger trends
Yeah.
we're seeing in the business world
Uh-huh.
and even in society as a whole.
Right.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Let's dive into that. What are some of these larger trends that you see at play here?
Well, take sustainability, for example.
Okay.
Shia's emphasis on eco-friendly materials and responsible sourcing. That's not just a nice-to-have anymore.
Right.
It's becoming a core business principle for many companies.
We talked about how consumers are increasingly demanding sustainable products
They are.
and are willing to pay a premium for
Well,
them.
absolutely.
But it goes beyond just consumer demand, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. Investors are looking at a company's sustainability practices.
Right.
Employees want to work for companies
Right.
that align with their values.
Makes sense.
And governments are implementing regulations to encourage more responsible sourcing.
So it's not just a marketing tactic.
Yeah.
It's a fundamental shift
It is.
in how businesses operate.
Exactly. And this shift is happening across industries,
Okay.
not just in the world of custom notebooks.
Right.
Think about the fashion industry,
Right.
with its focus on ethical sourcing of materials and fair labor practices,
Yeah.
or the food industry, with its emphasis on organic and locally sourced ingredients.
That's a good point.
Sustainability is no longer a niche concern.
Right.
It's becoming the norm.
It really is.
It is, and it ties directly back to Shia's strategies.
Okay, how so?
Well, remember his emphasis on building strong relationships with suppliers.
Yes.
That becomes even more crucial when you're talking about sustainability.
I see.
You need to partner with suppliers who share your values,
Right.
who are committed to transparency and ethical practices, and who are willing to work with you
Yeah.
to continuously improve your environmental footprint.
It's about finding those partners who are aligned with your mission
Yeah.
and who are in it for the long haul.
Exactly. And it's not just about finding the right supplier. It's also about being transparent with your customers,
Right.
letting them know about your sustainability initiatives.
Uh-huh.
Tell them the story behind your products.
Okay.
Give them a reason to feel good about choosing your brand.
Transparency is so important these days.
It is.
Consumers want to know what's going on behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And they appreciate companies that are upfront and honest
Absolutely.
about their practices.
And that transparency builds trust,
Okay.
which is essential for any successful business.
So we've talked about sustainability.
Okay.
What other trends do you see connecting to Shia's procurement strategies?
Well, let's talk about technology.
Okay.
Shia highlights the importance of leveraging digital tools
Right.
for everything from order tracking to data analysis.
Technology is changing everything.
It is.
From how we communicate
Yeah.
to how we shop,
Uh-huh.
and procurement is no exception.
Absolutely not. And the tools available today are incredible.
Yeah, they are.
Imagine being able to track your order in real time. See exactly where it is in the production process.
Uh-huh.
Even get automated alerts if there are any delays.
Takes all the guesswork out of it.
It does.
Gives you so much more control over the process.
It does.
And it goes beyond just tracking.
It does, yeah. Data analysis
Okay.
can provide invaluable insights
Okay.
into your spending patterns,
Mhm.
supplier performance,
Yeah.
even market trends.
So you can identify areas where you can save money,
Yeah.
optimize your inventory levels,
Uh-huh.
and make more informed decisions about your sourcing strategies.
Exactly. It's like having a crystal ball
Right.
that helps you anticipate challenges and opportunities.
It really is.
Yeah, and this data-driven approach to procurement
Okay.
is only going to become more important
Makes sense.
as businesses face increasing pressure
Yeah.
to operate more efficiently
Uh-huh.
and effectively.
It's about using technology to your advantage
It is.
to streamline those processes,
Yeah.
reduce costs, and make smarter decisions.
Exactly, and this ties back to G's emphasis
Right.
on continuous improvement.
Right.
Technology can help you gather the data you need
Ah,
to identify areas where you can optimize your processes,
okay.
improve your products,
Yeah.
and enhance your overall performance.
So it's about embracing innovation,
It is.
using technology as a tool to drive positive change.
Right, and that mindset of continuous improvement is
Yeah.
essential for any business that wants to thrive
I agree.
in today's competitive landscape.
So we've talked about sustainability, technology,
Yeah.
and continuous improvement.
Right.
What other insights can we glean from Shia's strategies?
Well, let's talk about the human element.
Okay, the human element.
Shia's article emphasizes the importance of
Okay.
building strong relationships with suppliers,
Huh?
negotiating clear contracts,
Okay.
and actively seeking customer feedback.
Those strategies really stood out to me.
Yeah.
They seem to go beyond just the transactional aspects of procurement and speak to a more collaborative
They do.
and human-centered approach.
Exactly. And that's something we're seeing more and more of
Okay.
in the business world.
In the business world, yeah.
There's a growing recognition
Yeah.
that success isn't just about numbers.
Right.
It's about people.
It's about building trust,
It is.
fostering open communication,
Mm-hmm.
and working together to achieve shared goals.
Exactly. And that's true whether you're talking about relationships with suppliers,
Yeah.
customers, or even your own employees.
It's about shifting from a purely transactional mindset
It is.
to a more relational one.
Yeah, and that shift can have a profound impact
Okay.
on a business's culture,
Uh-huh.
its reputation,
Yeah.
and ultimately its bottom line.
It's about recognizing that people are at the heart of every successful business.
They are.
And this brings us back to Shia's story about negotiating,
Okay.
the binding type on his custom notebooks.
Right.
Remember how he emphasized the importance of clear communication and a collaborative approach?
Yes, he talked about how he was able to work with his supplier
Yeah.
to find a solution that met both their needs,
Right.
even though it involved a seemingly small detail.
Exactly. And that wouldn't have been possible
Right.
without that open line of
I
communication.
wouldn't have.
Being able to clearly articulate his needs,
Uh-huh.
understand the supplier's constraints,
Yeah.
and find that compromise.
And that communication needs to flow both ways.
Okay.
It's not just about you dictating your needs to the supplier.
Right.
It's about being open to their feedback,
Okay.
their suggestions, and maybe even their concerns.
Percent.
Sometimes the supplier might have insights
Okay.
into the manufacturing process, material availability, or even market trends that you're not aware of.
It's a good point.
Exactly. And that collaborative approach,
Yeah.
that willingness to listen and learn from each other
Uh-huh.
can lead to better outcomes
Right.
for everyone involved.
Okay, communication check. Anything else on the human side
Oh,
that
yeah.
we should be paying attention to?
Customer feedback.
Oh, customer feedback.
This is where it all comes full circle.
Right.
You can have the best procurement strategies in the world,
Yeah.
but if you're not listening to your customers,
Yeah.
you're missing a crucial piece of the puzzle.
It's the customers who are using those notebooks,
They are.
those planners, those journals.
Right.
Their feedback is invaluable.
Absolutely. Shia talks about how he used to be hesitant
Okay.
to ask for feedback, worried about what he might hear.
I think a lot of people feel that way.
Yeah, it can be scary
It can.
to open yourself up to criticism.
Right.
But he realized that feedback, even the negative kind, was a gift.
Okay.
It was an opportunity to learn, to grow, to
Yeah.
make his products even better.
And it showed his customers that he cared,
Uh-huh.
that he's listening,
Right.
that he was committed to providing them with the best possible experience.
Yes. Exactly. And think about how powerful that is.
Yeah.
You're not just selling a notebook.
Yeah.
You're building a relationship,
Okay.
a connection.
Yeah.
And that can lead to repeat business,
Okay.
loyal customers, even positive word-of-mouth marketing.
It's that human touch
It is.
that makes all the difference.
Absolutely.
So as we wrap up part 2 of this deep dive,
Okay.
I'm struck by how these seemingly straightforward procurement strategies
Yeah.
connect to these larger trends shaping the business world.
It's fascinating, isn't it?
It is.
We've seen how sustainability, technology, and the human element are all interconnected,
Yeah.
influencing the way businesses operate
Right.
and interact with their stakeholders.
And it's clear that procurement is no longer just a back office function.
It's not.
It's a strategic imperative
It is.
that can have a profound impact on a company's success.
Absolutely. And as we move into part 3,
Okay.
we'll explore some real-world examples
Okay.
of how these strategies play out in practice. Okay.
And the tangible benefits they can deliver.
Welcome back to our deep dive into B2B procurement.
We've covered a lot.
We have, from establishing clear criteria and vetting those suppliers to embracing sustainability and leveraging technology.
Yeah.
But, there's one more layer I want to unpack.
Okay.
The human side of this whole process.
It's so easy to get caught up in the logistics, the contracts, the data.
Right.
But at the end of the day, procurement is about people,
It is.
connecting with people.
It's about building those relationships,
Yeah.
negotiating those deals,
Uh-huh.
and ultimately making sure your customers are happy at
Exactly.
the final product.
Shia really drives this point home in his article.
Okay, how so?
He talks about how early in his career he had a very, transactional approach to procurement.
Okay.
He was all about getting the lowest price,
Okay.
even if it meant switching suppliers constantly.
That sounds like a recipe for headaches.
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
He quickly realized that building those long-term relationships
Yeah.
was actually far more valuable.
I can see that. When you have a good relationship with a supplier,
Right.
you can work through issues more collaboratively. Yeah. Maybe even get some flexibility on pricing or delivery times
Yeah,
if something unexpected comes up.
absolutely. And it's not just about avoiding headaches.
Okay.
Those strong relationships can open doors to opportunities.
Oh, okay. Like what? Give me an example.
Well, let's say you've been working with a paper supplier for a few years.
Okay.
You've built up that trust.
Uh-huh.
You have a good rapport.
Yeah.
Maybe they're developing a new, innovative type of recycled paper
Okay.
because of that relationship.
Yeah.
You might get early access to that material,
I see.
giving you a competitive edge.
Wow. So those relationships can actually lead to innovation.
They can.
That's pretty cool.
It's not just about, smooth sailing.
Right.
It's about gaining access to insider knowledge,
Okay.
maybe even collaborating on new product development.
Okay. So building strong relationships. Check it out.
What else does he highlight on this human side of procurement?
Communication.
Great.
Clear, open, honest communication throughout the process.
This sounds simple enough,
It does.
But I bet it's a lot easier said than done,
It is.
especially when you're dealing with multiple parties, complex contracts, tight deadlines.
It's definitely a skill that takes practice.
Okay.
But think back to Shia's story about negotiating the binding type for his notebooks.
Yeah,
It seemed like a minor detail,
it did.
but it had a significant impact on the cost.
Right. He was able to work with the supplier
Uh-huh.
to find a solution that met both their needs.
Exactly. And that wouldn't have been possible without that open line of communication.
Right.
Being able to clearly articulate his needs, understand the supplier's constraints,
Yeah.
and find that compromise.
So it's not just about transmitting information.
Yeah.
It's about actively listening, asking clarifying questions,
Yeah.
making sure everyone's really on the same page.
Right. And that communication needs to flow both ways. It's not just about you dictating your needs to the supplier.
Right.
It's about being open to their feedback, their suggestions,
Yeah.
maybe even their concerns.
Makes sense. Sometimes the supplier might have insights
They might.
into the manufacturing process, material availability,
Yeah.
even market trends
Yeah.
that you're not aware of.
Exactly. And that collaborative approach,
Yeah.
that willingness to listen and learn from each other,
Uh-huh.
can lead to better outcomes for everyone.
Okay. Communication, check.
Mhm. All right.
Anything else on the human side we should be paying attention to?
Customer feedback.
Customer feedback, right?
This is where it all comes full circle.
It does.
You can have the best procurement strategies,
Yeah.
but if you're not listening to your customers,
Yeah.
you're missing a crucial piece.
Right. At the end of the day, it's the customers who are using those notebooks,
It is.
those planners,
Yeah.
those journals.
Their feedback is invaluable.
Shia talks about how he used to be hesitant to ask for feedback, worried about what he might hear.
Yeah, I think a lot of people feel that way.
I do. It can be scary to open yourself up to criticism.
It can be, but he realized that feedback,
Yeah.
even the negative kind, was a gift.
A gift, okay.
It was an opportunity to learn, to grow,
Okay.
to make his products even better.
And it shows your customers that you care,
Yeah.
that you're listening,
Uh-huh.
and that you're committed to providing them with the best possible experience.
Exactly. And think about how powerful that is.
Yeah.
You're not just selling a notebook.
Right,
You're
right.
building a relationship, a connection.
Okay.
And that can lead to repeat business, loyal customers,
Yeah.
even positive word-of-mouth marketing.
It's that human touch
It is.
that makes all the difference.
It does.
So we've explored Leo Shia's 8 strategies
8 strategies.
for navigating this world of B2B procurement in the custom notebook industry.
Lots to think about.
There is, but what I'm really taking away from this deep dive is that it's not just about the strategies themselves.
Yeah.
It's about the underlying principles,
The principles.
the importance of building those strong relationships,
Yes.
communicating clearly,
Mm-hmm.
embracing sustainability,
Absolutely.
leveraging technology,
Yeah.
and always looking for ways to improve.
Continuously improving.
Yes, continuously improving. These are principles that can apply to so many aspects of our lives,
I think so.
both personally and professionally.
And that's the beauty of these deep dives, right?
Yeah.
It's not just about gaining knowledge.
Mhm.
It's about expanding our perspectives, challenging our assumptions,
Mhm.
and finding those unexpected connections
Right.
that can help us navigate this complex world around us.
Well, thank you for joining us.
It's been a pleasure.
We'll see you next time for another fascinating exploration.
See you then.